What's happening, guys? We've got a pretty big interview here. I know Florida State fans are excited to hear this one, but we are with new Florida State signee, transfer defensive end from Albany, Jared Verse. Jared, welcome to Hear the Spirit. Appreciate you hopping on with us. I know we were talking earlier, but it's got to be a pretty busy week for you. I could only imagine.
Yeah. It's calmed down a lot, with my commitment. Now as main coaches, just get to really talk to the Florida State coaches and, focus on the fan base and everything like that. So it's calmed down a lot, but it's still up there.
Well, Florida State fans, they're a little wild, and it's only once you get here, it's going to get even crazier. But we know how it is. They're probably tracking where you were, trying to understand what's going on. But we'll get into some of that there. But I just kind of want to start off from the very beginning about your recruitment because, you've talked about it in a few interviews, and I know you've talked with Dustin too about it, but I mean, you had a ton of schools contacting you right off the bat. What was that experience like, getting just blown up, phone, emails, everything of that nature? How'd that go for you?
It was a lot at the beginning. Out of high school, I didn't really have that many offers. I didn't really have that many interest in schools. So, I didn't really see this side of it, where it was like a lot of, a lot of schools after me, a lot of, attention to my way. So it was a lot right off the bat, but my family put up on my control.
Yeah, and you finally made that decision to commit to Florida State at the end of last week. What was the coaching staff's reaction when you informed them of your decision?
Well, actually, it was pretty funny. I called Coach JP, and I wanted to mess with him a little bit. So I was like, "Hey, Coach, I'm sorry to inform you. I know I told you I'd call you to commit everything. And I called to inform you, I will be coming to Florida State." Like, you can hear him all sad and stuff. And then I told him I was coming. He got all excited, screamed a little bit. And I got to talk to Coach Norvell. Coach Norvell was excited. I got to speak to Coach Fuller. They were all pretty excited, ecstatic even. So it was good. It was good to feel like, I made that decision. They were all more happy, like more excited than I was.
Yeah, supposedly Norvell was out grocery shopping during that, and so I wonder what his reaction here in Tallahassee had to have been like.
Yeah, he was. I think he was in Texas at the time, or somewhere he was traveling, and he was like at a mall or something. He was in the middle of the mall. So he was telling me.
That's awesome. I love that. Were you so? I think a lot of people, you didn't announce on Twitter or anything where, when you were planning to make your college decision. It was kind of like, well, probably this week, early in the week, and then it kind of stretched over to Friday. Was Wednesday really the initial day for your announcement, or was it Friday all along?
It was Wednesday, but Tuesday night I wasn't really feeling confident. I didn't really have a decision at all made. I had Wednesday hit, and I just wasn't feeling confident. I didn't want to rush a decision, as important as this one. So I decided, let's just take a couple extra days. I didn't want to announce the day because I wasn't quite sure when it would be. But then Thursday, I was very confident in my decision. Florida State was already on my mind. And then, I took the next day till Friday to make sure it wasn't just a fluke or anything. And I still felt very strong about my decision, so then I made it.
I wanted to ask, too, which schools were really pushing hard at the end there? I know maybe potentially Tennessee there we heard of. I know obviously Florida State, but was there any other schools there late in making your decision?
Tennessee was very high up there. And that was the reason I couldn't release my date Wednesday, was because it was between Tennessee and Florida State, which I feel like is a surprise to none. But, Auburn was up there too, LSU, Miami, USC. I was considering all of those schools really heavily. Houston, I was very heavily considering Houston. Those are all schools I was like looking at, and I was like, I could definitely see myself in any one of these.
Yeah, and you went public with your decision on social media on Friday. We lost him.
Oh, there we go. I got him back.
Got him back?
My bad.
Yeah.
No, you're good. I know you're driving, so. But you went public with that decision on Friday on social media. When did you inform the Florida State coaching staff of your decision?
About 2-3 hours before I released it on Twitter.
Oh wow!
I called coaches, that I was in contact with the whole process. whatever they may have come from. And I thank them for, having interest in me, wanting me to be a part of their program. And I felt like I'm Florida State for last. I called Florida State, called Coach JD, called Coach Norvell, called Coach Fuller, talked to them about thank you, and made the little jokes with them and everything, and then told them I was hitting, and then about 2 hours later, right before I went to the gym, I did it.
Nice. I'm sure the reaction, I think they were pretty happy. I'm sure it's a good start to the weekend. I know probably, the coaching staff. I'm wondering who you talked to the most. You mentioned JP earlier, but was that the coach on the staff that you talked to the most, a majority of your relationship with FSU?
Yeah, he was the coach I talked to most. I spent a lot of time with him on my visit. Coach Fuller, he was probably the next most. Him and Coach Norvell were probably the next two I talked to the most. But Coach JP, me and him spoke every day. Talked to each other every day. Even if it just wasn't about football, we talked to each other just about life, how our day was, what I was getting up to, what he was getting into. It was just we formed that little relationship really fast, even if it just wasn't a football relationship.
Yeah, and we've spoken a couple times, and during your official visit to Florida State, you got to sit down and have those conversations with Jermaine Johnson, Keir Thomas, two players who, like you, transferred into Florida State and blossomed and are now heading to the NFL. So can you go into details on those conversations that you had with Jermaine and Keir and just how it impacted your decision to eventually commit to Florida State?
Yeah. Jermaine, me and him talk more kind of, I don't want to say business side, but we talk more football than me and him. Me and Keir were talking just kind of life, how, interests, how each other moved. Just got to know each other. But Jermaine, me and him sat down, we talked football, why his decision was, he said good day. He was an instant starter. He felt comfortable coming here, like he could do something to help himself, reach that next level, which he did. And, he said, he saw a similar situation with me where our play styles were similar. He was like, I could have just the same amount of extent more that he had. So we spoke a lot about that. We spoke a lot about life, too, just beyond football stuff. That was roughly a football conversation, his experience, a little bit of experience at Florida State also.
Was that something, being able to talk to, former players now, but like Jermaine, being able to talk to these former guys and get a really good feedback on what you're getting yourself into coming into a program, and maybe that's what differentiated it from Tennessee potentially there. You got to get to hear the true scoop, really.
Yeah, it was very eye-opening because, Jermaine, he wasn't giving me run around like a sales pitch or anything. He was telling me truly what he liked about school, what he didn't like, things that made him feel comfortable, things that he didn't feel comfortable with. He gave me a dude too. It wasn't like anything fake or anything. Definitely, talking to him and knowing, he's not gonna fight anything. He's telling me he hates, give me what I could expect at least. That definitely was very.
Yeah, and you're getting ready to enroll at Florida State this coming week. What's your current timeline to be on campus and start going through classes and preparing for off-season conditioning?
I'll be there a couple of days. When I plan on almost immediately being in classes. I think we're finishing that up right now. But beyond that, handle football, integrate myself into the community, into the team, kind of figure out, where I fit, how everyone works and everything like that. But the first couple of days, I just kind of want to kind of get the fit, get the feel for the campus and everything. But I should be probably 2-3 days.
Okay, sweet. I want to ask a little throwback here, but Nate is our lead recruiting guy, and sadly he couldn't hop on here with us today. But he's he likes guys that either are wrestling guys from high school or they ran track, and supposedly there's word that you had 11.3 in the 100 meter. Is that true? Is that legit? Is that a real number?
My best time was I think it was either 10.97 or 11.03.
Oh, 10.97?
So that was my best time.
So
But
damn,
that was
that's
probably
even
early senior year.
Even faster.
Yeah, that's faster. That's faster than what Nate had.
Yeah,
yeah.
That was a one-time meet thing.
Hey, that's a good ass time though. What size were you then when you were running that? Do you remember?
Like 200 pounds, like 200, 205 pounds.
That's still a good
I
size.
was like
For, yeah, no, that's still for that size. That's still moving. That's still moving. I mean, a lot of your highlights are of you. I know there's one of you going and past one of your former teammates, DB. You're speeding down the field to stop that touchdown and that one highlight play. But is that something you kind of pride yourself on, the speed that you kind of bring in your game, not only in pass rush but all over the field?
It is definitely something I pride myself in. Obviously, I feel like my get off needs to be a little faster. I feel like if I had a little bit more twitch in myself, I'd be able to get out faster and reach my top speed a little quicker. But my speed is definitely something I pride myself in. It's definitely something I've worked a lot in and will continue to work in.
And you're coming into Florida State as someone with experience at the college level, someone that's already had success. How did your experiences at Albany, how's that going to help you in your transition to Florida State?
Albany taught me a lot. I never played D line in high school, like ever. And, my coach at Albany, Coach Nessel, he instilled everything. He taught me pass rush move I know, every scheme, how to get off blocks. He taught me things that he wouldn't teach other players on the team because their bodies wouldn't be able to do it versus me, where he's like, you can do this because you can get away with it. So he taught me a lot. And I feel like I can take a little bit of the things I learned over there, bring in to Coach JP, and he'll help me build upon them. Or he'll say, there's a finished thing, just keep working on it a little bit more. So that's definitely, it's helped me a lot, though. My work ethic, too, it's crazy because of Albany. You had no option but to work hard there.
When you were visiting FSU, Jared, what really caught your eye the most? Was it the campus facilities, the players there? There's usually some that kind of stands out. What happened to be that when you were in Tallahassee for your visit?
There's no one thing I could say. I kind of got there to just, it didn't instantly feel right. But, when I left, I was leaving FSU. I was like, nah, that's something I can see myself at. And, I didn't feel that about too many of the other places. But it's like, when I left, I was like, nah, that's probably where the place where I'm going. But if I had to choose one thing, it might be the conversations I had with Jermaine and Keir. Those conversations were, like, especially with Jermaine, he just told me the real side of things. He didn't lie to me at all. And give me the runaround, and that conversation is one huge reason why I chose that video.
Are you excited to be around in Doak for those night games? You got the war chant blasting. I'm sure they advertised a little bit of that whenever you were visiting and got to see Doak and everything. But are you excited to be around a rowdy Doak? I mean, you already kind of know how crazy the fan base is in FSU Twitter. I mean, you've probably already seen all of it. But wait till you're around 70,000 more of those people in the stadium. But are you excited for that?
I'm definitely excited. It's a bigger stadium, bigger stage. It's going to be I feel like I've built up a lot of pressure. A lot of people expect some great things from me. And I feel like with my work, I think I'm going to try to reach every goal that people have set for myself, every expectation people have for me. But I'm definitely excited for, to hear that war chant come out the tunnel, everyone screaming, packed stadium. I'm definitely ready for that.
At least one last thing for me, is there something that you're going to be working on this offseason? I know you said you're going to be arriving in Tallahassee soon, but you said you want to get your pass rush off a little bit faster off your jump. But anything that you're going to be working on this offseason heading into 2022 season in the fall?
Definitely my get off. It's good now. It's subpar, but it's not good enough to be at that elite level, with guys such as Jermaine, such as Keir. It's not good enough to be at an elite level where I can just dominate every play. I feel like if I can get off a little bit better, that'll help me, be able to reach that next level.
I think last thing for me, what was it about Mike Norvell that really sold you in coming to Florida State and allowing him to develop you, the next couple of years?
What isn't it about him? Coach Norvell. When I first spoke with him, he always has a smile on his face. He's always in a good mood. He's kind of infectious to put you in a good mood, even if you're not really feeling it. But the betting, the most important thing that I heard from him, and there's one thing that really got me to go to Florida State was when I was talking to him, and it was just me, him, and my mom, for like the little ending meeting you have on visits. And he was like, Jared, before we end this meeting, the one thing I want to tell you is you'll get my best every day. Like, whether I'm feeling it or not, you'll get my best. Whether it's raining or shining, you'll get my best. He just kept emphasizing I'd get his best every day. He was saying, I just got one thing in return, or asking one thing in return, and that's that I get your best. And him saying that was like no one really says that. Like, you expect it, but no one says it. And he actually like verbalized. I was like, nah, this is a coach I would love to work with.
Yeah, no, we see it at practices. It was raining one practice near the latter of the season, and just gloomy. We both have played football, Dustin and I, before, and there's times where it's raining, it's gloomy and stuff, and you just don't really want to be out there. But I mean, I think either there's a lot of coffee espresso shots or something in him, but he's full blast. We're going. There ain't no time to wait.
Yeah, has to. There's no way.
Yeah, this is what you're about to get yourself into, Jared. So best of luck. I don't have to do any of that. You get to go do all that. I get to watch and report on it.
I'm excited for it.
Absolutely, man. Well, Jared, best of luck to you and safe travels when you come into town. Tallahassee will treat you right, and we definitely appreciate you hopping on here, the Spear, and hanging out with us.
Absolutely.
I know it's busy for you, but I'm really excited to have you on, and I know the listeners will love to hear this.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hey guys, this is Logan. Definitely appreciate you for watching the entire video. If you wouldn't mind, definitely hit that like button down below. Leave a comment on what you thought about the video, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you guys haven't yet either, make sure you're signed up on our Patreon. This is where we're giving our inside news, inside nuggets, recruiting scoop, and so much more daily. You guys can sign up for that at patreon.com/NoleGameday. It's the cheapest option out of any outlet covering Florida State athletics right now at $2.99 a month. I highly suggest going to check it out. Once again, patreon.com/NoleGameday. Come hang out with us and get ready for the season ahead. See you guys there, and thank you for watching.